Nathan, what's the street name?
65th Street.
You got fun street names. All right, source.
This one is an expired.
How'd you tell us what's the motivation of the seller?
They're relocating.
All right, awesome. Perfect. What's the purchase price?
They are looking for $575.
I'm assuming you asked the same questions. What's the least you're willing to take on the purchase price?
Yeah, that was the number that they came up with when I asked them.
Okay, well, they on them. They're expired. What were they on the market for with the realtor?
They were on the market for $549.9. So there's gonna be room in conversations. 540, 550.
Additional.
Yeah.
So they want an additional 25 grand.
Yep.
Okay. So let's start there. So they're on the market originally with a realtor for 550. My immediate reaction is like, how motivated are these people?
Well, this might be a bad example, but they are on the market currently as a rental. So if we want to choose a different one, we can. But
no, let's work this through.
Thoughts on it?
We already started.
Okay.
We're already in it. We're already in it, Nathan.
Nathan, I think the coaching point here for everyone is the conversation, and I'd love to hear the call. You should tape it for Zach. But the conversation with these people, aside from motivation, is when you were on for 550, what did you think you were going to get? You didn't get it. What did you think you were going to get?
They would have got.
It's not 575.
525. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a difference of 50 grand here right now. Okay, what's the monthly payment?
so they're doing a refinance right now. Just with the principal and interest is $1,600 a month. And then taxes.
How much of that is principal?
$650 a month.
650 is principal. Okay. What's the taxes?
Taxes are $49.43 a year.
Which brings it to how much per month?
$412.
What's the insurance on it?
So this is in a condominium. So he's saying it's $158.17 a year on an HO6 insurance policy.
Okay, and how much is that per month?
$13.
Okay, is
I've
there
never
an
come
HOA?
to- Yeah, HOA is $775 a month.
$775 per month.
Correct.
All right. Well, we got total monthly payment. We got $1,600 plus $412 plus $13 plus $775. What's the total payment on the cost?
$2,800.
All right. What's the term that he'd be willing to go? He or she'd be willing to go if you got them their price.
This was another 36 to 60 month, but they said 36.
Okay. All right. Well, deal structuring already out the bat. We should be closer to 525. Obviously, their motivation isn't very high here, but my guess would be you're on with a realtor for this. They're netting closer to 525. Can you just rehash this? When somebody said they're on the market for 550, and then you said, what's the least you're willing to take for a purchase price? And they said 575. What was your response?
Yeah, so to be honest, I was driving back from my appointments from Saturday, so I was not checking out that information. So I wasn't able to quiz the seller on that. so I missed the boat there. But even during their conversation, it was interesting because she was mentioning that if the term was to be longer, they'd like to see higher than 575. So
But there was.
it's another conversation to be had.
Okay, so this is where we'll go, just because I don't even, at this point we're not sending out options. At least that's just my initial gut. It's,
Okay.
first thing that needs to happen is, number one, hey, Mr. Seller, I know you told me 575 when I finally got home. I realized you're on the market for 550. I would expect that you're probably netting 525 if you actually sold this house, which you didn't. So tell me, what would be the least you'd be willing to take if we're able to construct this type of deal?
Zach, can I say some more
Perfect.
comps too? Because this might help. Like, okay, so they don't get in defense mode, Nathan. Here's an idea.
Yep.
The comp conversation, I always put you on the same side of court as them. Okay, you didn't sell for 550. Let's say that I put it on for 575, and somebody's crazy enough, they fall in love with it, and they say I want to buy it, and they go for financing in 2 years, and it doesn't appraise out. We just wasted all that. Like, you're setting someone up to fail. Or in the conventional world, it's, I get that you want, like, I'm with you, I'm on your team, but you and I don't make up the comps. The comps say X. They probably say 550 or less, or it would have sold. So the comps say X, Mr. Seller. So let's not go down this whole road. If you sold this tomorrow, it's not going to comp out. You're going to have 60 days wasted. The whole thing is comparables. You don't make them up. I don't make them up. So you're on the same side of the court as him. It just makes it so it's not confrontational, too. Just
I
idea.
totally agree. I'm talking to Nathan as if we're on our normal calls. Yes, I totally would go with that approach.
If I could,
They're being ignorant, then I would go the other route.
if I could add something I was noticing with looking for comps was this. So this is a 3 and 2, and I found a comp that came in at 590 for a 3 and 2. But then when it's a 2 and 2, the price has significantly reduces within that area, and there's a bunch of condominiums in that area. So much that, I mean, comps are coming in at 350 to 400 on 2 and 2s. But one did sell in the area at 590 with a 3 and 2. So just an adder. I don't know thoughts on that, but
Well, here's my question, just to hone it even further, because it's in an HOA. Is there anything that's sold for a 3-2 in this price range in that particular condo within the last 6 months?
yeah, great question. No, not in that particular condo. I had to look in a different condo for that.
Well, that's going to be your issue, is because when we start actually honing down to condo associations, you have to start even niching further down and what the heck is actually sold within that area, because that's why this thing never sold. Because unfortunately and fortunately for you, it's, hey, look, nothing is sold. I have to go through different condo associations which don't compare apples to apples. So that's a much easier actual conversation with the seller. It's like nothing is even sold in your area, and that's what's messing this up. I could say if we can at least come up with a price that's relevant or that I can work with, then that may be the only option in which you actually could sell your house in this area.
So
What's important right now for you guys to realize too is, because the market's unstable right now, you have to look past, to get comps, but you also have to look and see what's on the market currently. Is there anything that's on the market currently in that area, and for what price?
I don't have an answer for that one, but I quickly looked up the 591 that I mentioned, and their HOAs at least from Zillow marketing, is 767. So relatively close at the HOA fee there.
Oh, I'm not worried about the HOA fee. Sorry, just confusing anyone. It's not the HOA fee. I want to make sure, like, some people move to particular condo associations for certain benefits that come with being in that area or being in that association. So you have to look into even niching further down and say, is anybody buying for this price in that condo association?
My answer is no to that.
I think at this stage, Nathan, we got to go back to the drawing board, go back to them and dig a little deeper to figure out what's going on, just because from what you're telling me and what they're saying, it's like we're at a big gap, and I wouldn't at this time, from a coaching standpoint, send out options that are going to be so far off their mindset that you're just going to completely shut them off. I think the next level is an additional conversation without sending options yet. I think we got to dive further, and we're going to have another, call to or negotiation type call to dig further into this.